Welcome to the Book of Days Project. I have no voice today, hardly. Today is February 2nd, born on this day Bishop Thomas in 1613, William Borlas, doctor in 1696, and John Nichols, 1744. Died on this day Sir Owen Tudor, 1461, Baldassare Castiglione in 1529, Giovanni di Palestrina in 1594. It is the feast day of St. Lawrence, Archbishop of Canterbury, and today is a special day, and that is Candlemass today. From a very early, indeed unknown date in the Christian history, the 2nd of February has been held as the festival of the purification of the Virgin, and it is still a holiday of the Church of England. From the coincidence of the time with that of the februation, or purification of the people in pagan Rome, some consider this as a Christian festival and grafted upon a heathen one in order to take advantage of the established habits of the people. But the idea is at least open to a good deal of doubt. The popular name Candlemas is derived from the ceremony which the Church of Rome dictates to be observed on this day, namely a blessing of candles by the clergy and a distribution of them amongst the people, by whom they are afterwards carried lighted in solemn procession. The more important observances were, of course, given up in England at the Reformation, but it was still about the close of the 18th century customary in some places to light up churches with candles on this day. At Rome, the Pope every year officiates at this festival in the beautiful chapel of the Quirinal. When he has blessed the candles, he distributes them with his own hand amongst those in the church, each of whom, going singly up to him, kneels to receive it. The cardinals go first, then follow the bishops, canons, priors, abbots, priests, etc., down to the sacristans and meanest officers of the church. According to Lady Morgan, who witnessed the ceremony in 1820, when the last of these has gotten his candle, the poor conservatori, the representatives of the Roman Senate and people, receive theirs. The ceremony over, the candles are lighted, the Pope is mounted in his chair and carried in procession with hymns chanting round the antechapel. The throne is stripped of its splendid hangings. The Pope and cardinals take off their gold and crimson dresses, put on their usual robes, and the usual Mass of the morning is sung. It appears that in England, in Catholic times, a meaning was attached to the size of the candles and the manner in which they burned during the procession. That, moreover, the reserved parts of the candles were deemed to possess a strong supernatural virtue, some averse. This done, each man his candle lights, or chiefest seemeth he, whose taper greatest may be seen, and fortunate to be, whose candle burneth clear and bright. And wondrous force and might both in these candles lie, which if at any time they light, they sure believe that neither storm nor tempest cloud abide, nor thunder in the skies be heard, nor any devil spied, nor fearful sprites that walk by night, nor hurts of frost or hail. The festival, at whatever date it took its rise, has been designed to commemorate the churching or purification of the Mary. The candle bearing is understood to refer to what Simeon said when he took the infant Jesus in his arms and declared that he was a light to lighten the Gentiles. Thus, literally to adopt and build upon metaphorical expressions was a characteristic procedure of the Middle Ages. Apparently, in consequence of the celebration of Mary's purification by candle bearing, it became customary for women to carry candles with them when, after a recovery from childbirth, they went to be, as it was called, churched. A remarkable allusion to this custom occurs in English history. William the Conqueror, become in his older days fat and unwieldy, was confined a considerable time by sickness. "Methinks," said his enemy, the King of France, "the King of England lies long in childbed." This being reported to William, he said, "When I am churched, there shall be 1,000 lights in France." And he was as good as his word, for as soon as he recovered, he made an inroad into the French territory, which he wasted wherever he went with fire and sword. At the Reformation, the ceremonials of Candlemas Day were not reduced all at once. Henry VIII proclaimed in 1539, "On Candlemas Day it shall be declared that the bearing of candles is clone in memory of Christ, the spiritual light, whom Simeon did prophesy, as it is read in the church that day." It's curious to find and noticed as a custom down to the time of Charles II that when lights were brought in at nightfall, people would say, "God sent us the light of heaven." The amiable Herbert, who notices the custom, defends it as not superstitious. Somewhat before this time, we find Herrick alluding to the customs of Candlemas Eve. It appears that plants put up in houses at Christmas were now removed. Which brings us to another curiosity associated with Candlemas, the purification flower. Our ancestors connected certain plants with certain saints on account of their coming into blossom about the time of the occurrence of those saint days. Thus the snowdrop was called the purification flower, also the fair maid of February. From its blossoming about Candlemas time, the crocus was dedicated to Saint Valentine, the daisy to Saint Margaret, hence called by the French La Belle Marguerite, the crown imperial to Saint Edward, King of the West Saxons, whose day is the 18th of March, the cardamine or lady's smock to the Virgin, its white flowers appearing about Lady Day. The St. John's wort was connected, as its name expresses, with the Blessed St. John. The roses of summer were said to fade about St. Mary Magdalene's Day. There were also the Lent lily or daffodil, the Pasch flower or anemone, herb Trinity, herb Christopher, St. Barnabas thistle, Canterbury bell, in honor of St. Augustine of England, and for St. Robert, and Marywort. Thank you for joining us today at the Book of Days Project, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bright, cheerful Candlemas to you all.